What is the next Death Horseman team coming to Marvel Strike Force? Is this month's Future Shock Milestones for Spider-Man 2099 going to be better or worse than Abomination Milestones? And Rogue's event is coming back. What do you need to do to prep right now? In this video, we're talking about all of that and more for this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. This week, I am joined by Boilon again, and hopefully we got the audio correct. And if you're ready for Boilon, tell him what to do, my brother.
Let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Valley Maniacs, welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having a great day. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel and hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content, at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel. And if you've already subscribed, thank you and welcome back. This is Thursday, which means it's time for your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. This week, back is Boilon, and are you hear me correctly? Because I had some audio issues last week with this.
All loud and clear, yes. It's very clear this time.
My goodness, and again, Valley Club, big apologies for last week's video. It sounded like crap, but I know you had a time crunch last week, and I know we had a good conversation, and I didn't want to limit what information did you put out, even though my audio sounded like crap. But we're back here doing this again, and I think the big news this week is the 5,000 cores that some people were able to get. Boilon, were you on right at server reset to get this the first time, or were you in the group that got this for this compensation for that issue with these 5,000 power cores?
I luckily got it. I think there was a 15-minute window, and luckily I got it. I was actually in bed, and I was on my phone checking my own Discord, and somebody posted in the general chat, and I like rolled out of bed and I got onto my computer, and then I checked the web store really quick and I claimed it. So yeah, lucky for me, I got it right away, because you never know, right? Like if it's just you want to get it in like the first time, just in case either they take forever to they drag that out, or you don't get it, or whatever, right?
Yeah, sometimes they don't give it out. and I think that is a lesson. You got to be on a server reset. Don't do anything in the beginning. See what Reddit's saying, see what all the buzz is going out, see what bugs are going on. Is it something in the player's favor? Is it something in Scopely's favor that you want to not do anything? But yeah, that's the lesson with this one. And for me, I was lucky. Normally at that time I'm eating dinner, but for some reason we decided to order out, and we were just waiting for dinner. I was like, all right, let me check this out. Oh, 5,000 power cores. Awesome. So I did end up getting it, and it looks like Scopely did the right thing with this, though. They brought it back for everybody. It was a short window, so hopefully you were able to claim it in that second round if you weren't able to get it for that first round during that window. But my question is, they gave us 5,000 power cores. At least according to this blog post, it was planned. It was supposed to be released later, but it was planned. So what do you think they're taking away from us now that they've given us 5,000 free power cores? I mean, I value that at $50. Yeah. Scopely probably values that at like $500. So what is going to be taken from us now that they've given us 5,000 power cores and some Loki shards and some gold shards and stuff like that?
I mean, it might already be being taken from us, because Coordinated Assault, they've raised the bar again on that event, requiring more milestone progress for the currency, which means that for some people, might require some cores into the ISO 8 energy. People are already coring still or more for Spider-Weaver. I believe there's maybe 2 days left now. And so I imagine that not for next week, but probably the week after, week 3 and 4, we're probably going to see some core related events, whether directly or indirectly, however that materializes. So
yeah, I guess we won't know for sure if that was something that was planned before these cores went out, or if that was a direct response to these cores. Now, what this core offer was, for me, it was on the web store. I did see some reports of some people having it in their actual game, but for me, it only happened on the web store. But there's an issue with the web store for some people. I know some people were having trouble linking their Android devices to the web store. They describe an issue here. What do you know is going on? What have you heard is going on with the web store issues, linking that to your Android account? I saw one solution that they said log into your Scopely account to fix that. What do you know is going on with this? Has it been fixed for most players?
I personally haven't seen a lot about that myself. For my second account, I do use BlueStacks, which is Android. I can still log in with the way that I would normally, I guess, with the access code and things like that. So that's fine.
Okay.
But I have a feeling that I'm probably going to have to make a Scopely account for that account in order to get in after, I think it's soon, in a couple days, maybe. I don't want to make a Scopely account. Maybe it's that, privacy sort of related issues. I don't want to give Scopely any more information. Maybe I'm just one of those people. Yeah.
You don't need to give them the correct information. You could create a burner email and use that just for your games, my friend. So
I'll have to do that. But for my main account anyways, I don't think I'll have to do that anyways because I have Facebook already, which is another issue. But hopefully I don't have to do it's Facebook or Scopely account. Hopefully I don't have to now convert to a Scopely account from Facebook.
Well, it looks like the Facebook will get your game back, but if I'm reading this correct, for you to use the web store, you may need to create that Scopely account, unless I'm reading this wrong. So
I don't know. I don't have a Scopely account yet, so we'll see.
Hey, but Boilon, you could use that same burner email for a Facebook account and a Scopely account. You could use the same thing. You don't have to make 2 accounts for that.
That's true. Well, we'll see when that goes live. I think pretty soon though. So.
We will see. Hopefully you don't have to make a couple of them. Now, the other big thing that happened this week, in addition to those 5,000 power cores, is we got our rank rewards for the Red Hulk event. Now, let me ask you your feelings on this event in retrospect. How did you do personally? What was your final ranking? Did you push for that 6-star? Did you push for that 7-star? Were you happy like I was with just getting a 5? Or how did you do in this event?
This was actually the first time that I had upper 5-star, so I was like 3,500 or something.
Okay, nice.
For both Pestilence and Famine, I did get a 6-star, so I was in that top 2,500. But I just didn't really invest enough into my characters or maybe I just didn't run it enough times to really want to smash my head to get that 6-star. So I'm perfectly okay with where I got, because I don't even have the dark promo credits anyways to get him 6 red right now, so it's not a big deal for me, and I can wait personally.
Yeah, I don't have my rogue's not even 6 red star yet right now. But you talked about this event. Not sure if it was your Asgardian, or I guess assuming Asgardians, or if it was your times going through. How many times did you manage to play through this event?
I think I probably ran it like 5 times, maybe 6 times, progressively doing more. I ended up doing actually a 9-node run with a lot of Scourges rather than doing 10. And so I didn't, I maybe I could have cleared that 10th node, but it would have been more trouble for me, and I would have had to min-max my node 5 a lot more. And at the end of the day, I don't know if the investment in my team was enough to do both with near maximum Scourges. So I'm not super thrilled more broadly about Hero as Guardians, so I didn't want to put any more resources into them than I had to.
That makes sense. I'm happy this event is done, just because while this event was going, I kept putting more and more resources in Hero as Guardian. I was like, all right, let me get a little bit better. And I couldn't get it. So I actually did 2 full runs. Some of my runs, I just think I had some Scourges on there that I wasn't willing to sit through many bad runs of bad RNG to get through. So it's like, I don't have enough time. I dropped a lot of Scourges off. I ended up with this 5-star Red Hulk. Now, I'm not sure if we actually need this Red Hulk right now. He is a war character. He's needed for Apocalypse, but we still have Death to come through. We need his event. We need Red Hulk's event to come back at least one more time, because that is what one of the previous blog posts said. Do you think that people weren't pushing as hard for this because it's a war character, or this is the 3rd time through these Scourges and they're just like, yeah, I don't have time to sit through this? Or is it because of something that you caught on one of your videos earlier? Are there just less players playing, which made it harder to get these ranking rewards?
It's a little bit of everything, but I think that now that we know that at the bare minimum there's going to be 2 passes before the saga comes back for that event, that maybe people are less rushed into getting those high stars because, you know, if you don't have the dark promos, I'm perfectly fine with 5 yellow, 5 red. That's where I'm at as well. And that does everything that I need to do right now. And then I know that the event is going to come back probably in about 3 months for the second pass. And then after that, you know, it could be every month because Pestilence's third pass was 1 month after the second. Yeah. So they could come pretty frequently. And if that's the case, it's not going to take that long to get 7-star, you know, so. No.
Just got to make sure you do all your milestone rewards when they come back. That's going to be the annoying part. Now, what did you think of the difficulty of this? I know you got less stars, so did I, than the previous events, but did you think this was more difficult, less difficult, or about on par with Pestilence and Famine?
I guess it's been a while since I've done Famine now, but I think that it was easier. I think Pestilence is still the hardest. I think it was scaled quite highly, and that's why people were not running. I don't think people were running really difficulty 8 of Pestilence, but that is common now for both Famine and for War. I think 8 Pestilence was very hard, and so I don't think many people really did that. So I think the power scaling is a little bit better on these newer Scourges, and that's what they kind of learned after Pestilence. And overall, I thought that the tags were fair. I like the Avengers section because there's a lot to choose from. I was able to use my Bionic Avengers, and I just like blew right through it. Yeah, they're really strong. So
those guys are fun. Now, one of the big changes that we had with this War Scourge was the point calculations. Previously, we could just go maybe difficulty 10, like a lot of people did with Rogue, get through those, equip no Scourges, and then score very, very high. That was not the case this time, and that may have attributed to my lower score as well. Not just, had to do a lot of Scourges, which made it very, very RNG based, which means there's a lot of restarts. Do you think that point change is not being able to go up to level 9 and just smash through everybody that had high level Scourges on level 8? Do you think that attributed to these some of the players not getting as high scores as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think compared to Famine anyways, that would be the case. And I'll be very interested to see when Famine comes back, are they going to be using the point scale like War in Famine's second pass, or are they going to keep it the way it always was before and just change that for Death, I guess, going forward?
Do you think they can, though? Because they've already given out shards in the first run for Famine. They've already given shards for the first and second, and I think third for Pestilence. So can they change it at this point?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess the better question is, can they change it internally without breaking something? I guess is what I'm wondering.
You've been playing this game as long as me. You know the answer is no. Something's going to break if they change something.
It's probably not worth tinkering with in the event that it does break something. But I think all of this has just been a massive test. So if this comes back in 2023 with 4 more of these sort of events, then at least they've kind of downpacked sort of how they want to run it with the points and whatever, right? You know, to make it a bit easier the second time around.
All right. Well, there are some bugs already with Red Hulk. Now, this is a video that you sent me last week. This was on your old phone. You've got a new phone since then.
Yes.
What is going on here? We see Red Hulk, and I know there's some data issues with the older phone. So what is happening here?
It's basically memory leak. You know, you can see that the attacks are basically instant, and after Red Hulk uses his ultimate, I guess the battlefield locks up sort of, and so that's what ends up happening. You can sort of see this is Scourge. This is the War Scourge event, and so I use Gamma here, and after I use the battlefield effect, the ultimate, it's basically instant clicks. And in some instances, you can actually circumvent the taunt that the character's supposed to have. You see that Phantom X there has taunt, but I'm actually able to hit Sunfire, I believe, or some other characters bypassing that. You can see that I didn't even hit really Phantom X.
You know what? I've actually experienced this on my iPhone as well, and I don't have an old one. I don't have the current one like you do, but I think I have a 12 or a 13, and I've experienced this a few times myself. So I'm wondering if is this truly related to the older phones, or is this just another bug that they are having going on?
It's probably both. What ends up happening though, if you do, so you can click other characters other than the taunt tank characters, but once you accidentally click one of the tanks, then it goes back to normal. But before that, I had Sunfire targeted for a long time, and I was targeting non-tanks basically. So it's really interesting, and it's like a taunt circumvention, but only, you know, if you have an old device that triggers this, I guess.
So is this that taunt bug that's actually breaking the game and doing that?
I don't know. It could be a combination of, this issue with the alt, with older devices and the taunt bug. I don't know. Maybe it's both combined here. But I know that in this instance, I saw it and I had it happen a handful of times on my old phone. And I was like, oh, this is weird. And I should record this. So that's what I did.
Now, you said there's also another bug with the battlefield effects not working properly. What is going on with the battlefield effects right now?
I don't know if it's a bug. I actually read a Reddit post that it was in war. I heard that in some instances their own team was getting hit by the battlefield effect.
Oh, so awesome!
Like they were getting bleeds on their team. Now I haven't witnessed that because I haven't used them on offense. I have them on defense right now. So and without the war replay feature, I can't see that. But my disappointment is that there's no visual thing that shows the radiation or the gamma radiation or whatever the battlefield effect is. Like if you have a better device, I guess there's nothing that kind of shows that it's on other than that circle underneath the character.
Little tiny thing right here. Yeah.
And it's not even there all the time. It's only there when I guess you're targeting a character. And if you're on auto, it's not there either. So they need a more visual representation, and I thought they would have, because this is like a pretty big change to the game. I thought that they would have actually gone the extra mile and done something about it.
Yeah, the first battlefield effect ever in the game, and all it is a little icon right under the character. Come on, Scope, please.
It's slightly disappointing. Like I kind of expected a little bit more.
The art department is like the best, or has been in the past, like the best, most consistent part of this game, and a little disappointing with this. But yeah, he's a good character. All right. Other character that we got this week, in addition to real Red Hulks and not just baby Red Hulks, we got this guy, Spider-Man Noir, in the game. How good is this guy? Is he really worth it? Does he complete this team? Does he add anything special to this Tangled Web team?
Well, I mean, I did fight him and the full Tangled Web team in Cosmic Crucible. That video is up on my channel this morning, and it was rough. Like, perhaps I didn't play it to the 100% best of my ability, but I was just testing different teams to see what worked and what didn't. And they do crush a lot of teams, and because Noir gives extra damage as well. And this really is all funneling into Spider Weaver, because a lot of people are having a huge Spider Weaver because you need her for Apocalypse. So a lot of people are going to take her to tier 16 or whatever. So she's going to be huge. Noir's just pumping up her damage. So that makes her even stronger than she already is. And with a properly built team, if they're geared properly and leveled properly, I think this team's really, really going to hurt.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Now, there are some data mines as far as his release method here. It says he's going to be the wall crawling gumshoe. There are some, the Night of the Spider event is what we have. Earn the Spider shards. What are you expecting from this event? Is this going to be, I mean, obviously it's not going to be like the Weaver event. What are you predicting? Will this be based on blitz wins, energy spent, power cores spent? I mean, we just got some power cores. What do you think is going to be the release method, or the release method for this Spider event, upcoming Night of the Spider event?
I guess the question is, what haven't we had yet? Energy spending could be on the table. Raids could be on the table. We already have a war event, so that's probably not going to happen that with next week. And but they always find a way to just shovel blitz in anyways. It could be blitz and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm going to go with blitz, energy spending,
and then each
Cosmic Crucible.
Wait, there's a couple different ways they could do this. Each blitz match, you're getting these fragments for these characters. We haven't had one of those in a while, and we just had this blitz milestone, which I thought was pretty friendly for the current event right now, the Rogues Gallery event. So which type of blitz do you think this would be? I'm hoping it's not one that's limited by the milestones, and you could just grind and go crazy and get as many shards.
I'm a pessimist, so I believe that it's going to be a very hard blitz, like 5 to 6 rotations a day kind of thing. Whether or not it's just fragment farming, I don't know. Like Hulkbuster. I hope not, but for what it's worth, I actually didn't mind the Brawn event. It was 100 shards or 150 shards, but it was really easy. It was like energy spending and like something else, I don't remember now, but like it wasn't hard to clear. And I think for a bare minimum unlock, the events shouldn't be that hard. To get bonus stuff, sure.
Yeah.
But for a bare unlock, I think they should be relatively easy to complete.
I agree. I think most players through these events should get minimum a 3-star, and if you push really hard, maybe a 4 or 5-star. But everybody should be able to unlock this. Newer players, older players, everybody, and not just limited to people that have these larger rosters. All right, Boilon, before we move on to the current event going on right now, let me ask you about this Tangled Web. Is this something that you would recommend investing in right now? We know they're going to be dominant in Crucible. I know that Spider-Weaver and the Web Warriors are easily beatable by the Bionic Avengers, but will Spider-Weaver, Spider-Man 2099, and Spider-Man Noir be a huge problem in Cosmic Crucible? And will there be a problem if you're facing them in other game modes like War? Or will they have some value in raids? Or what are you expecting other than Crucible for this team?
Personally, I don't think that 2099 or Noir is worth gearing unless you're an endgame player. I think if you're a new game or a new player or a mid-game player, you probably don't need them. And Spider-Weaver should be the main priority because she's pretty good standalone as it is. In War, a lot of people are using the combination of Spider-Weaver and Underworld, actually. So that would mean that you would have to replace some Underworld members with 2099 or Noir, and I don't know if it would have the same effect necessarily, because I heard that Underworld's quite strong. I've seen some Underworld Spider-Weaver teams just kick
defense.
Crap. Yeah,
nightmares on defense with them,
with Taskmaster and all that. So it's rough. So I think in terms of overall value, I think this team is largely in Crucible. However, Weaver can be used elsewhere, obviously.
Yeah, and you're gonna need Weaver if you're someone that's chasing Apocalypse. So that's not wasted resources because you're gonna need her anyway. All right. Next milestones, or the current milestones that we have going on right now, is the Future Shock milestones. And one thing I did like about this, which was different than the Abomination milestones, we actually have some shards in here. Now, what I did not look at is if they've reduced the amount of orbs that we're getting previously. And I know you're the math guy. How does the math look for you on this one? We have 30 Spider-Man 2099 shards. Do we have more or less orbs, or the same amount of orbs for this one?
I'm pretty sure it's the same amount of orbs, just added 30 shards, but we did get one orb in September as compensation for a problem. So subtracting that, of course, we're maybe one orb down. But if you complete it all,
four so shards normally. So
far, maybe we'll get compensation of another orb for some mess up later on in the month, right? So it's hard to say, but it just seems like a net increase of 30 shards, which is good, because there was concern before that while it would be very rare, that statistically it was possible to not unlock him, because you could open 30 orbs and you could get 30 times 3 or 2 hypothetically, and you could unlock him. Now that's probably not very many people, but the fact that some people could walk away without an unlock, I think, was pretty gross. And so the addition of those 30 shards should guarantee the unlock at least.
I agree. Scopely, do not do that again. After a month long of grinding, you should, at the very minimum, be able to unlock the character. And if it's a month of grinding, it should be more than the week event or something like that we get for these characters. We should get a 4 or 5 after these events, and not risk unlocking this character. That is just...
And that's what I prefer the 180 shards guaranteed. That gave us a 4-star. There was no RNG. You didn't have to question what you're going to get. And now, while 30 shards are still better, there's still a lot of people that are going to walk away with a 3-star and won't have that 180 plus, because that's I believe the average now is somewhere around 195, which sounds better, but we know that RNG doesn't always play in our favor. So there are going to be quite a few people who don't get that 4-star.
Yeah, and there'll be some crazy people that get some really good pulls. And
it's slot machine, psychology, and I just would like less of that.
So would I. Now, they did do something nice based on the previous event. So in this Spider-Man 2099 event, looks like we're having all these web milestones, no 1 core offers again. And if you completed all the web milestones for the Abomination event, that would leave you with 750 shards of this. And luckily, they gave us the extra 250 shards to give us a complete orb. I thought that was a good thing. What is your take on this?
I would just say, why don't they just add that in on day one or something like that, so that they don't have to, so people don't have to question whether or not that we're gonna complete that orb. It was just so weird, right? Like, I just don't know why that's a thing.
You think they calculated that correctly? You think they calculated that far out and like, oh, we're gonna make them short, or they just like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we're a little short. Let's bring this out. Do you think that was planned, that it was short, and then having people maybe purchase this last 250 shards, or do you think that was just we didn't take into account that. We should have let's give them these extra 250 shards.
I mean, it could be either of those, but I think for the new month of October, though, we're going to run into the same problem, no? Or I don't know, are we going to get, it's 8 days per orb, so how many, are we getting 32 days of this to make 4 orbs, or are we going to be shortchanged again?
I'm not sure. So, when did this started on the 3rd or the 4th?
It actually started a day before the event went live, if you remember. So maybe that was because those 250 was meant to cover something later. I don't know. We'll find out later on. But but why do they do it this way? Why is it 250? Why couldn't it be like 500 just to make it quicker that you're getting to an orb? Well, now I know why, of course, because that's more orbs. But it's just they do it in a way that, like, if you're not keeping track of the numbers, like, it's easy to fall between the cracks because you don't know what's going on. There's like the numbers thrown at you with events and orb fragments, and you never know where you're going to land at the end of the month.
Yeah, it is very, very confusing. And the information on the previous blog is not always reliable. So you have to wait till the event is actually out and then do the calculations, because sometimes it's correct and sometimes it's not. Now,
subject to change.
It's always subject to change. Everything in this news report is subject to change because all the information that we've got is subject to change. All right, other thing. There was some compensation for the Horseman Harvest Orb drops. This was something that was supposed to go on earlier. Supposed to start on October 3rd, I believe, or was it October 4th? But anyway, the blitz was not going through. People were blitzing for these web milestones, and they were not getting credit. Also, the campaign energy. People were using the campaign energy on those select nodes and not getting any Horseman Harvest Orb fragments. They gave us this compensation. I thought this was fair. Obviously, I'd rather have no bugs than not need the compensation. But what did you think of this compensation? Did it make you whole?
It was for me, because I didn't really. I'm kind of, sometimes I step back and don't do things right away at the reset, because a lot of times there is a problem, and so I didn't. I think I did one blitz with my Young Avengers, my free one, and I realized that I wasn't being rewarded properly, so I didn't do anything after that. But I know there's people who probably blew more blitz charges. So for me, I gained a lot of blitz charges from the comp, and that's fine. But I know that some people may have, and really what that tells you is just to not do everything right away. Like, maybe do one blitz, check to see if it's adding up. If it's not, don't do anything and just wait for them to fix it.
That's usually the best. But like with the Power Core offer, sometimes the bugs get your benefit if you're logged in early. Usually they're not, but sometimes it's actually beneficial to start to do all this stuff early. Now, this was in relation to this Rogues Gallery event. The points weren't rewarding properly for the campaign nodes, like I said, and the blitzes weren't rewarding points properly for that web milestone. But the web milestones I thought were very, very good for this event. As you can see, I already got the main thing, and I think I got that in like day 2 because the web milestones were so generous. This thing, the light bite cloth. How soon were you able to complete those web milestones?
I think I finished it before I went to bed that night. Okay.
So not even a day for you.
I have some tier 16 Young Avengers though, so that really helped. But I heard that the points, I don't know if it's still like that, but at least in the beginning, it wasn't being additive. So normally you would get points for tier 13, 15, and 16, and they'd all add up together. But I heard that you were only getting points for the highest gear tier per character. And so less overall is basically.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't notice. I did 2 rotations, and because I saw we were getting compensation with a bunch of blitz charges, I just kept using my Young Avengers over and over, and it was done. So I actually not sure if it was working properly or not.
Yeah, so normally, if you have a really high gear tier team, you would get a lot of points. You're still getting a lot. It's just a little bit less. And I guess for the next event that has gear score, we'll have to see whether or not it adds up for the next one or not, or if this is intended for them.
Yeah. Now, did you think that this was a very grindy event? Based on we still need to grind a lot of campaign energy, but the Blitz milestones were pretty easy to complete. Do you like events like this where we got all the main milestone parts for the main Future Shock milestones, but we could still keep grinding for some other rewards? I enjoyed this event. I think this was a pretty good event. What were your thoughts on this event overall?
I think it was very fair because I have a second account. My baby account is level 70 coming up, and I haven't cleared it yet, but I am on course to clear it at a reasonable rate. Maybe 3 or 4 rotations a day. My Young Avengers are not gear tier 13, so I'm just getting the points, the base value of the Young Avengers points, and I'm still on course to clear it, which is good. So as long as I'm able to do that and it's not super punishing for that account, that tells me that it's a new player friendly event, which is great.
Got it. I agree. I thought it was a very well-designed event. Hopefully, this is a sign of things to come, and we're not going to get like 2 good events and 3 bad events or something like that, like we've had in the past with these. Now, interesting thing here that we just got the blog post on Spider-Man 2099 event pieces. So this is for the Future Shock. They were renamed. So the Death's Head mask is now called Futuristic Spider Mask. I'm not sure if this is live in the game yet, but it should be there soon if it's not. The old name for the other piece, the Day of the Dead costume, is now called Unstable Molecule Suit. This will take place later today, does not affect the original point values of anything else other than the names. This does not say subject to change, so these are the names for these events. Why do you think this change was named? Or why was this made? Was it offensive to people, like the silver samurai cross on his chest, or was this just something else?
I heard comments on Reddit suggesting that it was because of the references to death. Day of the Dead, if I'm not mistaken, is something it's a Mexican thing, Mexican holiday, I thought, maybe, or
I believe I've seen that.
Or South American. Yeah. And Death's. Now I heard Death's Head is a character, a Marvel character, actually. There's a character named Death's Head. I don't know. On that one, maybe it's just any reference to death, perhaps.
All right. Well, if you guys know, let me know in the comments, because these did get renamed. Now, we were talking about this a little earlier before we started recording, that Rogue's event is coming back. If we look into sagas right now, we see that the Famine Saga starts in 12 days. And if we look at what happened with Pestilence, it was 5 days before this event went live that we had Pestilence return for the second time, and then went right into this saga. So if that remains true, we should be getting Rogue's event, the second run of Famine, next week. What have you done to prepare? Are you building up your Unlimited for this saga? Are you building up your Young Avengers or Dark Hunters or Inhumans for the actual Scourge event? What are you doing to prepare for Rogue's event coming back and the saga coming very soon?
As far as the saga, I guess I'm going to have to probably, eventually I have to gear tier 16 them anyways. I might do it ahead of the saga just to make it easier for the levels. I know that Pestilence D2 Node 5, I think the last one was quite challenging for some people, even with some gear tier 15 and 16 characters. So I might put a little bit more resources into them just so I don't have a headache of clearing the final level, which gives you the abilities. The ability materials or whatever.
You're gonna build up Phantom X for the Rogue event?
I don't want to, but we all have to, at least at 16, right? So he's the last person. But Gambit for me, what's blocking me to 16 for Gambit is actually because I took Morgan Le Fay to 17, so I don't have the uniques anymore for the osmium, for the teal osmium, so I can't take him to 16.
They did it on purpose. They did it on purpose.
I felt that Morgan Le Fay was a more desirable character, so that's why I recently, a couple days ago, took her to gear 17. So I'm quite happy about that, though.
Nice. I had my first gear 17 character last week as well, and Morgan Le Fay. So good choice. I like your choice there. All right, we talked about this. You mentioned this briefly. Coordinated Assault is back, but not like before. It takes more points to get this coordinated assault, which means you're going to need to spend more ISO 8 energy. The rest of your alliance is going to need to get more of this ISO 8 energy to complete these milestones. Why are they continuing to raise the bar? Are players too effective with getting these rewards? Did they not test this in the first place? Why do they keep raising the bar for this coordinated assault? This is the second time that I can remember them raising the stakes that we need for these events.
Yeah, this is the second bar raise of coordinated assault, and I think maybe that they must have data for how many people have cleared, whatever milestone, right? And so I think that to maybe with proper preparation, content creator videos or whatever that gives you the heads up on it, that too many people are clearing it and can do it, and so maybe by raising the bar again, that also means more money for them for people who can't, because some people might be desperate enough to buy into offers for it. And so there you go.
Hey, Scopely, just because we're too good at this stuff doesn't mean we need to keep limiting what we're getting. Come on, just say, hey, you guys are good. Congratulations, have this stuff. So hopefully they don't keep raising this. Hopefully they found their sweet spot. All right, and Avengers Tower. It is back. It came back Friday. And it had rank rewards, it had all that other stuff, but then it went away. All you had was milestones, and then it came back. And it did actually come back on Tuesday, October 4th, at this time that they listed. So they got that right. How are you doing with Avengers Tower? Did this affect you? Were you really grinding hard for a good run and then they just canceled it? Or what was your reaction when you saw that they canceled Avengers Tower the first time?
I don't really put a lot of time into Avengers Tower, actually. Like, I'm not min-maxing every single team to make sure that it beats this team. I for the first day, I just went from the bottom of my roster and I did my 40-something Blitz teams, and that got me to floor 40. And then I broke it down a little bit because then because some of my Blitz teams are not what I would use in Tower. I guess I carry smaller characters with bigger characters for blitzing. So I can't do that with Tower exactly. But I just kind of, I don't know, took some of my War and Crucible save squads, which is normally a full synergy team, and I copied it into my Avengers Tower tab. And so that brought me down from 40 to probably like 20 to 25 usable character teams at that point. And that was my day 2. But I mean, I don't really, the milestones are quite nice, and I'm thankful for that. And I hope it comes back like we were supposed to get it on a monthly or patchly basis, because there's some good stuff in the milestones for both new and end game players. There's ability material orbs, there's a catalyst, lots of orange catalyst that some of us really need. But as far as the rank rewards, I don't care enough because there's not a lot of difference in the rank thresholds.
Now, these were pretty valuable the first 2 times these came around, but it's been, I think we talked about 6 months since this came around again, and it looks like nothing has changed as far as the rank rewards. Nothing has changed as far as the floors and anything like that, which I guess is a good thing. It does make me question why they took so long to bring this back, though. But are these tower orbs still worth pushing for? And no. I know these teal raid orbs, we get a lot more than this in just our normally daily play with the Doom raids and Crucible and all that stuff. Is this even worth pushing for? Are these tower orbs, is there anything good enough in this to really spend a lot of time to calculate your teams, figure out what is the best strategy to get through some of these high-end floors?
I mean, I have to check my rewards at Doom Raid, but I'm pretty sure I get almost 10 orbs a day, maybe, on the teal raid orbs. And so comparably to the tower rank rewards, it just doesn't seem very good, because, and there's no teal elites either, which maybe would have made it a little bit better for the Gear 17 minis. Or Armory 17 or something like that, but there's nothing in there that really I can't get elsewhere. The tower orbs aren't very good, and if you notice that the T4s don't really change much through the rank thresholds, I mean, like all of it down to 10%, I think, or maybe even more. Yeah, top 10%.
240.
Doesn't change, so you don't really have to go very hard. You could auto sim, frankly, probably, and still get 4 to 10% for a veteran player.
Is there a floor that you're specifically pushing for right now for this?
Not really. I actually auto sim up to 70, and then after that, I don't know, use my top 5 to 8 best teams and just see how it goes. I'm not super stressed out about it. I wouldn't stress out about it personally. The rewards are not different enough to really justify it. And for some people, it's fun, and that's fine. You know, if you want to just play the battles and have fun with it, that's great. But from a rewards aspect, it's just not worth a lot of time. That's all.
I agree. Any mode that you have fun, who cares what the rewards are? If you're having fun with it, play it, enjoy it, because this is a game. And then if you don't enjoy the mode, then maybe you need to look at the rewards and see if it's worth your time to really push for this. There's some days I enjoy this, but some days I just don't have the time. So I don't know where I'm going to shoot. Hopefully I'm in that top 10% though, and get these 240 power cores and a bunch of tower orbs, which used to be, I remember them being pretty good at the time. What was it, 8 months ago that we first got this, and then 6 months ago? I thought they were pretty good.
The characters in that are not very good now, and I don't think there's very many newer characters in it. And yeah, I mean, again, I don't know why they waited so long, because they didn't change any of the teams at the top. If you look through, you know, there's no new characters in there. So why did they not? They did update the user interface though. If you notice that you don't have to click on some other tab to see the tower floors now, so now you can just scroll through it. So that's nice, I guess.
And we didn't have these saves. We didn't have a tower tab, so we couldn't really scroll through. Actually, was it scrolling through our main tab or our blitz tab?
It was using the roster tab, actually.
The roster tab.
The original one. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, the user interface got changed. So I guess that's a good thing. I wish they added some rewards as well.
And there's a nice pyramid background, which suggests like some sort of apocalypse version of the tower. I don't know. Nice little background. But, they didn't update the characters, and I'm not super bothered by that. But they should bring it back once a month. Once a patch. They said they were going to do, or
once a month, And big props to the art department again for actually updating something at this moment.
Art is great in this game. That's the number one.
Except for the battlefield effect.
Yeah, most of the time.
Things like She-Hulk's neck and Crystal's face, certain things are weird, but most everything else is pretty good in this game. All right, you know what time it is, Boilon?
You're going to tell me.
It is Morbin time. Morbis, sort of farmable. I mean, Silver Samurai definitely became farmable with the Blitz store. I opened a bunch of Blitz orbs and got Morbius to 7 stars last night. So, okay. He's in the store. I could confirm that. Did you open any Blitz orbs? And how did that affect your Morbius?
I opened some. I got him to 6-star, but I also used my Blitz credits to buy orange SBCs. So I probably didn't have as much Blitz credits as you did for that one.
Yeah, I don't spend those. I don't spend those at all. Except on war currency. So
I've been upgrading so many characters to Gear 14 and 15 that I am personally a bit lower on orange catalyst than I'd like to be. So I buy SBCs wherever I can.
Gotcha. That makes sense. All right, we have some other minor bugs that we want to talk about. I guess the Pestilence Orb. This is one that I didn't notice. You didn't notice either. The Pestilence Orb was missing. It looks like it's back though. There was a weird offer that had Dr. Voodoo and showing Silver Samurai. Then there was another offer with Silver Samurai that was screwed up. Supposed to grant 75 shards, but 50 shards. And then the Dark promo credits issue. The Red Star Orbs were showing 10x Dark promo credits. Unfortunately, those expected rewards were not granted correctly within the first 20 minutes after the 10-4 UTC update. The team is currently looking at affected accounts. Thanks for your patience. What do you think they're going to do for this Dark promo credits? This is another instance of logging in early and getting screwed. Usually you do, but sometimes you get it. So this is one that may get screwed, because sometimes they respond correctly with some generous compensation. Sometimes it's not. What are you expecting for this Dark promo issue?
I'm always really concerned when there's issues related to the orbs, because then it comes down to whether or not who are you compensating? Because there's a lot of people right now that are actually actively taking advantage of this. They know that it's messed up and they pull anyways in hopes that they're going to double dip, because in the past they just refunded your orbs. Yeah. And I don't know if they're still doing that or not. And there are going to be people who legitimately, pull and don't realize. But then how do you? It's really hard to differentiate who's maliciously doing it to take advantage of the system.
Hey, and how about you just stop the bugs, Scopely? How about that?
That would be the easiest. Yeah, that's the easiest.
And until you can stop the bugs, just assume everybody is just innocent and not malicious, and give out the compensation, because that's on you, Scopely. That's not on the players. So
I did hear that some people are not going to be refunded though on this issue. I think it was. So your mileage will vary. So that tells me that I don't want to pull when things are messed up in the event that I don't get it back, right? You know, then I wasted it.
Generous, like with when Emma was missing, and then sometimes, if I'm hearing correctly, Spider-Man 2099 gives you nothing. So there's not consistency with the compensation either. So yeah, open at your own risk in the first few minutes. All right. It looks like there are more data mines. Now, this first one I want to talk about is interesting. We have a Milestone 3 orb talked about in these milestones. Obviously, these are data mines. These may or may not come to the game. A lot of times these data mines do come to the game, but sometimes we never hear about them again. They're just data mines. So if we do get a Milestone 3 orb, what do you think would be the most appropriate character to be in that orb?
I think the audience probably wants me to say Eternals, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case.
No, make Eternals normally farmable. Put somebody else in the orb.
Everyone wants it to be Eternals, though. That's like because that's what they said in May, right? And we still no hide nor hair about what's going on there.
Well, people want the Eternals farmable. Do they want them farmable in any way possible, or specifically in this orb? Because I want them farmable. I don't know if I want them in this orb.
The Milestone orb is still better than a premium orb exclusive, though, and so from that perspective, that's better. That's true. So what's better? The worst of the worst would be the premium orb exclusive, in my opinion, and that needs to be replaced as well. Outside of the Milestone orbs, we had Deathpool and Kestrel that are still there. I think they need to be kicked out as well. So there's potential for 4 characters, 2 premium orbs and 2 Milestone characters. The Eternals are the oldest ones. I could see characters like Agatha, maybe. Let's go to
the roster, see if you get any ideas here. What is anybody popping into your head?
I'm thinking older characters.
Gambit. How about Gambit?
One of the rarest characters from each team, maybe. So like Agatha, Gambit. Those are definitely characters that could be orb types because they're rare and they were tough.
I didn't even think about that. There's 2 in there, Spider-Man 2099 and Emma. I just thought about Emma, but yeah, they could actually add 2 characters in there. You're right.
Yeah, one at 5%, one at 10%, or whatever those drop rates are there. So, but aside, if we look backwards, the only characters that are not farmable that should be are the Eternals, or farmable quotes, and Morbius is done now. So we're at Darkhold now, basically.
Yeah.
Darkhold, yeah. I don't see Strange. Strange was a pretty 4 or 5-star character because of the event. So I think they'll make him a little bit easier to farm, and I think characters like Wong and Agatha will be a bit more challenging. So definitely one of them is probably orb material. And then
Strange. He's low. That's why you couldn't see him. He's not built up. I don't have the stars for him.
I don't see Madeline Pryor going into the orb because I just don't think there's a lot of value in her.
That would be horrible. That would be horrible.
It would be okay from the sense that we don't really need her, but it's not a good character.
I would say that's bad because we don't really need her. True.
I hope it's like someone from Darkhold and then maybe someone from Unlimited X-Men.
I like the Milestone Orb 3. Yeah. Put Phantom X in there.
Or Eternals. I'll take it. Honestly, I'll take whatever I can get with Eternals at this stage, because not only for my main account but also for my baby account as well.
I don't want them in there. I want them in a node, or I want them in a raid store, or something easy. A Blitz store. Put them in a Blitz store. Put them in a Blitz store. Put them in a Blitz store. Or you know what? Put them in the arena store. Skip the orb. Just put them in the arena store, just like they did with Ghost Spider. That's what they should do.
Pretty generous. We'll see. It's
just because we won't get it doesn't mean we shouldn't push for the generosity, Boilon.
It's almost a year on the Eternals though, and I think something's got to give. Frankly,
Scopely. Come on, guys. This is getting ridiculous with this team. All right, next thing that I want to discuss is these upcoming events. The Helicarrier Clash event. It looks like that's awarding the next big piece of the spider splice gene. I think what we're getting is organic webbing is the name of it. So that name did not get changed here. What kind of event do you think this is going to be? It looks like you got to spend, actually it says it right here, battling in war. So earning war alliance credits. So save your war rewards as soon as it's announced. I'm guessing this is going to be announced tomorrow in the blog post. Blitz credits. Opening Valhalla orbs, and so a lot of different ways to open this. Valhalla makes me think of Hero Asgardians, though. Are they going to put some Hero Asgardians in that shards?
Possibly. I mean, they did say that the ways to get the orb is through money. And also there's going to be it's always money, and a daily offer online. So there's going to be some sort of daily offer that maybe gives you like 1 ore per day that you get for free. That's what they said.
Yeah,
it's in the DATAMINE
free claim on our website. Yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully this is a good one.
But the event, obviously, they're probably going to want you to donate power cores. So again, bringing back the power cores, because we did donate power cores for. It might have been the Braun event, actually, now that I think about it. I think it was the Braun event. It was energy in Alliance credits. So a lot of people will probably want to donate at least 50 cores a day for the duration of the event. That makes it easier to hit all the other boxes. So you can claim that and get more points. And Blitz credits is a little bit alarming because you get 10 Blitz credits per Blitz win. So that de facto is Blitz farming. And outside of the actual milestones, you get 10 per win. So how much is that going to convert in the points, and how much value is that going to have? Because then that just forces you to blitz constantly more, right?
Yeah, that's the blitz. Grinding out blitz is never fun. Now, it looks like we're going to get some training modules from this. And most people are either short training modules, gold, or both. Is this going to help you? I know this is going to help me significantly because I have a lot of gold and hardly any training meds. Where are you with your bottlenecks right now?
I think I'm okay on training modules. I think like I don't. Some people have more gold than they do training modules. Sometimes I think I'm still okay. I wouldn't say I have a ton, but I think I'm okay for the resources I have right now. But I'll always take more, right? I mean, who wouldn't want more? So.
Oh yeah, more training modules, please, Scopely. More events. If I could trade blitz wins for training modules, I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. I might be doing that.
I'm surprised they didn't. They have SBCs in there now, so why not training mods too?
Yeah. You put it in the arena store, Scopely. You could put it in other stores as well. All right, rumor time. Now, we talked about some rumors last time. I don't know if you guys heard our discussion on rumors because my audio was so bad, but the latest rumors for Mini Ball right now, Archangel is going to be the Death Horseman, and he has some percentages for this. Magneto is getting a rework, Psylocke getting a rework. I'm not sure if this is still an Excalibur team with Magneto on the team. Nightcrawler could be upcoming and a 5th member that's unknown. And as far as his percentages, Mini Ball is saying Archangel, 100% chance to be the Death Horseman. Psylocke, 100% part of the team. Magneto, 100% part of the team. And Nightcrawler, 50% part of the team with another 5th that is still unknown. How much weight do you put in these rumors?
I prefer, to get the confirmation, of course, and hopefully we'll get this. I'm still hoping that maybe it might be it's not that I want a skill team. It's that I think that they'll give us what we don't. We waited so long on the tech team that I am still skeptical personally. That it's not that we won't get a mutant raid team. It's that will it necessarily be this? That's all, and we'll see, I guess, because it should be pretty soon, probably within a week or two, that we'll get, because the patch is in like 2.5 weeks, so we're gonna get either a silhouette or something that shows info of these characters pretty soon. When is
Mr. Negative getting released? Because we still have to have him before the next patch, and I haven't seen any data mounts about his events or anything.
I think he's a November month long, frankly, because he's not in the Twitter photo. I don't know if you've seen the Twitter photo of the events of the month long of October. He's nowhere on there. So I think that they could push him back to the November month long.
I hope not. But if he is a November release character, that means that his offer would not be coming to the end of October. That would give us some time between these characters. So as far as his release, not good. But as far as timing, give us a break from these character releases, that could be a good thing.
They can release patch 6.5 and Mr. Negative doesn't have to be out. They've done that before where the last character has not.
They usually have an offer before that, though. They usually count an offer as coming in the patch. So his off, if he's coming in the next patch as far as the month-long event, he'll at least have an offer if they're consistent. But as we know, there's not a lot of consistency with Scopely sometimes. So maybe. Now, when do you think we'll get the official announcement of Death? We should be getting that very soon. Do you think it's going to come before or after that Rogue Saga goes live in the game?
I guess I'm wondering, they need to give us some details. Assuming he's coming next patch, they'll have to give us the details, I guess.
I think his team is coming next patch. If they hold true to what they did with Rogue and the Darkhold team and this War team,
Yeah.
At least his team should be coming next patch. So if it is
That's true. Yeah, I guess so.
Archangel, we should be getting Nightcrawler next patch, whoever this 5th member is, and then these reworks for these characters should be coming next patch. If whoever that is, we should be getting the death team next patch.
The silhouette should be coming out pretty soon then, like next week probably. If we don't get blog info.
Just like the roadmap, it should be coming out very soon, Boilon.
Yeah, I don't know where that is. But I think the most interesting thing on here is actually Magneto being reworked, because then it makes me wonder, what is the team? What's the team designed to do? We know that Magneto drags everyone together with his ultimate. So is this meant to be like an AoE or a lot of characters with adjacent target damage, because that way that's why they're dragged together to make it easier to hit them all. So like in game, what are they going to do? I guess is what I'm curious about.
That is a good question. If these rumors end up being true.
So we'll see.
All right, so we got an announcement of some Marvel properties. So spoiler warning, if you don't want to know about any of the trailers, we're also going to talk about She-Hulk coming up as well. So if you don't want any spoilers, this is your warning right now. We're starting the hype level calculator in 3, 2, 1. All right, so this was the big one this week, or within the past week. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman announced Deadpool 3 is coming out. Wolverine is going to be in there. When you saw this announcement, how hyped were you that 1, Deadpool is still getting a movie, and 2, Hugh Jackman is returning as Wolverine?
I think the Deadpool movies are great. I love them. I have nothing really bad to say about it. Ryan Reynolds is Canadian, so doubly I have nothing bad to say about it. Nice. And I like the fact that they're finally with Hugh Jackman and Wolverine going to be in it, presumably bringing the idea of mutants into the MCU, and that's really important.
Yes. Now, there was a trailer that was released this week. I talked to you beforehand. You have not seen it. It's for Wakanda Forever, which should be coming out in November. Did you see the first one? And what are your thoughts on this movie? Are you hyped for it, or is this something you're going to wait till it comes on Disney Plus to see?
I'll probably go. I'll go see it in the movie. I've seen every MCU movie pretty much that was available, except for Black Widow, of course, in theaters. And so I'll do that for this one as well. Am I super hyped about it? I don't know. I'm not sure how it's. I think it's it's in the middle. My question is Namor, how is he portrayed? Is he's supposed to be a mutant? Is he going to be a mutant in the MCU, or how are they going to portray his origins or things like that? And that's what I'm curious about. I guess I'm always curious about how they portray said character. Comics versus the MCU.
It's hard to tell from the trailer alone. So interesting. I heard people talk like maybe it's just kind of a red herring. Maybe Namor's not the main bad guy in the movie. Maybe there's someone else. And maybe the Wakandans are gonna and the Atlantans are gonna fight against this main bad guy. I don't know. It's all theories at this point. But one last question before we move on to She-Hulk. The big question is, who is the Black Panther gonna be? And I think a lot of people are leaning towards Shuri as the next Black Panther. Is your head also leaning towards Shuri, or possibly someone else taking on that Black Panther mantle?
I think she's like Panther mantle. I think the poster for the movie suggests that it is Shuri. So that's probably what I would say.
It seems like it is.
Otherwise, it would be a bit of it'd be kind of not weird, but not what we would expect if it was someone else.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments. Who do you think the Black Panther is going to be? Is it Shuri, or do you have a diverging opinion? All right, and last but not least, again, spoiler warning, guys, we're going to talk about She-Hulk episode 7. So not today's episode, but everything up to episode 7 in the MCU is fair game. So one more spoiler warning, 3, 2, 1. All right, the return of Emil and some introduction of some new characters, and I'm not familiar with them. Maybe they're in the comics or something, but I've not heard of any of these characters. Is Abomination really just running a self-help group, or is this some kind of trick that he's playing?
I think this whole show is quite lighthearted, so I think that's probably accurate, that it is some sort of just some retreat. I think it was designed to be this way. I don't think it's malicious that he's running some sort of villain ops or something. But I thought it was funny. I don't particularly know the characters, though. I didn't Google it either. Maybe they are real Marvel characters.
You guys would probably know in the comments. So let us know if you've heard of any of these characters in the comics previously. But I thought he was gonna do the double cross in this episode. As she was leaving, like, oh yeah, he's gonna do something. They're gonna kidnap her, and then she leaves. I'm like, is he just really helping people? What is going on with this? It confused me at the end.
Well, I think that the bigger thing is at the end, I guess, it was the end of credits scene. I'm pretty sure that was the most revealing, I guess, in terms of next episode, which I need to watch tonight, actually. Thanks for reminding me.
What is the... I watched it last week. I did not go back. What is the end credits scene again? I
believe it's that. Josh, because he's the guy who takes the blood from She-Hulk.
Oh, yes. The guy the guy that she fell for at the wedding last week. Yeah, that liked Jen and not She-Hulk, taking her blood. So it looks like the Wrecking Crew group that was stalking her at the wedding did in fact get that blood. So yeah, we'll have to see. We also saw her Daredevil's helmet a few episodes back. Is this the episode that he finally appears in, Boilon?
I actually really like Daredevil, and I love the actor who plays him, because, you know, I actually liked the Defender show on Netflix, so it was nice to see that they brought the same character back, or the same actor back for it.
I think most people had a problem with Iron Fist specifically. not the whole Defenders and Daredevil, and the Punisher got some good reviews as well. So I think it was Iron Fist specifically.
Okay, so I wonder
Iron Fist
if they bring anyone else back from that group. You know, we'll see if any of the actors return.
I mean, they already have Daredevil. I've heard some things on the Punisher and nothing on Iron Fist. So it might just be Iron Fist that's kind of out of that Netflix stuff.
Poor guy.
Yeah, well, I kind of enjoyed the first season. It wasn't a superhero movie, but it's a different kind of show, and I kind of enjoyed that, and didn't have any expectations for that. All right, any other thoughts on She-Hulk before we both go watch episode 8?
I guess I wonder how all of this is going to tie into something greater. You know, we've seen, quite a bit of things and a lot of shows this year. And I guess we're all waiting, or I'm waiting for what collaboration is going to bring some of these characters together, especially the main characters, the heroes, that kind of thing, and some sort of wider grand plan, I guess, assuming there is one.
Maybe Thunderbolts, maybe Dark Avengers. We've had rumors of both, you know, maybe something like that. And she would be the next wave, like replacing the Hulk on the Avengers is where she might, you know, we got Yelena taking the place of Black Widow. We have Kate taking the place of Hawkeye. She-Hulk would take the place of Hulk.
I'm waiting for this next, you know, whatever the big box office group, you know, team-based movie is going to be. So when that happens.
Yeah, she probably will be a part of it. All right, but Boilon, the audio worked this time. I heard you well. I hope you heard me well. I hope you guys at home heard me well today. But that is it. Any other final thoughts on Marvel Strike Force, anything in the MCU, or anything that you have coming up that you want to just talk about and promote?
I hope that things... I think I say this every time. I hope that the game continues on a path to being the game I want it to be. I tried to think about that as I was saying it.
Yeah, I think I totally 100% agree with you.
So yeah, less bugs. The acknowledgement is a good step. But at the end of the day, I would just prefer them to be in a place where some of this stuff didn't have to happen.
Yeah, no bugs, and then we'll see where the game goes. You know, when they're paying attention to the little details, a lot of the big details fall into place. But that is it this week. Boilon, do you have anything coming up this week that you want to promote before we get out of here?
Not particularly. I do usually post on my channel like every day or two, so just check out my channel and keep up to date.
Nice. Guys, the links to his channel and his Twitch are going to be down below, so make sure you check him out. Puts out some really good content, very consistent as well. And if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button for more Marvel Strike Force content, at least 5 videos, like I said, per week. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that notification bell. And if you're listening to the podcast version of this, give this a 5-star review so that all the analytics know that you enjoy this video. But that is it, Boilon. Have a great rest of your day. Hope things do get better. And are you ready for that fist bump, my brother?
I sure am.
All right, here we go. Let's do this proper this time. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin and Boilon out. Have a great day, guys.